In 2016, I was working at a mental health facility as a case manager. I had been sober for a number of years at this point, and my husband was still continuing to struggle with maintaining sobriety. So one day in August of 2016, I came home from work and I looked at him and I said, I need a break. I can't do this anymore. So a huge fight ensued. He had been drinking and he had been using drugs, but eventually he left. The next day, he called me continually all day long and he asked me to come home. And every time that I answered the phone, I would tell him, I'm not ready for you to come home. And my last phone call from him was at like 7 o'clock at night. And he said, basically, if you're not gonna let me come home, then I'm gonna kill myself. And after that, things really changed in my life. And I used drugs for the first time in a very long time. By the time Christmas rolled around of that year, I'm using every day. And I was fired from my job at the behavioral health center, and I started selling drugs. Not only using drugs, but selling drugs full time. And I managed to keep our home for about a year, but got evicted. And I started like couch surfing, staying in my car. So that's how I lived my life for the last year, was, homeless on the west side of Ashtabula with a book bag, just trying to hustle up a shower for the day. So I'm using drugs, I'm selling drugs, and I start getting charged with felony cases. I wind up having 3 different felony cases going on by the end. And so the last time I got arrested was October 24th of 2019. And I remember that day being transported to Geneva City Jail. And I remember when I got to my cell that day, I hit my knees for the first time in 3 years. And I remember it was the first time that I had begged God for help, saying out loud, this is just so painful that I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And it was, a couple days later, one of the police officers came to me and he said, hey, would you be interested in talking to my pastor? And I said, absolutely. I said, I need all the help I can get at this point. I'll talk to anybody. And I remember this man coming and bringing me a Bible, counseling me and praying with me and ministering to me and letting me know that Jesus loved me and that there was nothing that I had done that wouldn't be forgiven. And it was the start of my journey to find Christ. And I started to change and I stayed sober and I just was willing, right? Like I was willing to do what they asked me to do. And I remember I was working at a treatment center, right? And I had been going to church, right? I had been trying to find like a church home for myself. And it became important to me that I bring the women at the treatment center kind of like on this journey with me, right? And I remember one Sunday morning, one of the women said, hey, can we go to the city? I think it's in Geneva. Like I've heard like really great things about it. And I said, I don't care where I take you guys. You know what I mean? I said, I'll take you guys anywhere you want to go. And we walked in and I probably had about 12 women with me that morning. And I remember that there were people like holding signs and saying like, we're glad you're here, you're amazing. And I remember going, hey, that's the guy that came and ministered to me in jail. And it was PT, right? And I don't remember specifically like what it was about, but I remember that it was a message that resonated with the women from the treatment center, the women that were broken. I have found a freedom that I never knew existed. I have gotten sobriety. God has given me the most beautiful family, right? I gave birth to the most beautiful baby at 41 years old. I never thought that I could have a child. I have a fulfilling career. I have peace in my soul. I have joy in my spirit. Listen, if God can set me free, I was broken, right? I was painfully addicted to drugs. I was broken, and I had pushed him so far away. And so if he can set me free, he can set anybody free. I don't look the same. I don't act the same. I don't sound the same. I have been made brand new. I have been made brand new in Christ. And I have been given a life beyond my wildest dreams, and I am forever grateful.